Hello again, everybody. This tutorial is going to take a look at, introductory look rather, at creating a Google form. Now, basically what a Google form can be used for is lots of different things. But this example will take a look at, or this tutorial rather, will take a look at using Google Forms to generate a simple questionnaire. So before we begin, we want to think about what it is that we need to put into our Google form. The example we're using here is our survey project that we've been working on in tech class, in which you've generated a question about technology or technology use that you want to ask middle school students here at KHMS. So we need to obviously be able to put that question and the possible answers in there. But we also need to understand that there's a couple other pieces of information that we need to gather. In the instructions for this particular project, it instructs us that we need to gather information about the respondent's gender, whether they're boy or girl, and then what grade they're in, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Oops, sorry, changed screens there a second. There we go. All right. So along with our question, we need to ask those things as well. Now, in order to create a Google form, what's great about a Google form is instead of having to go gather this data and ask, in this case, 30 different people your question, with a Google form, you can simply email the question to somebody and have them answer it, and it will automatically record the information for you. You don't need to do any writing down or anything like that. So it really is a useful tool in your Google student account. So let's talk about how to go ahead and create one of these. If you go to New, this is where you would go to start any new Google app as far as in the Productivity Suite. But we have to go down here where it says More, and then you want to go to Google Forms. You can go into Google Forms, and basically this is the layout here. Okay, it allows you to come up with different questions, allows you to set a title. You can even change the theme or background up here. If you want to start with that, go ahead and do so. Okay. You can click where it says theme up here at the top, and there's lots of different themes to choose from. In fact, they've added some more here recently. So I'm going to go ahead with the old science theme here with mine, I guess, just because we're doing some work with something academic here. And so you can play around with that and come up with whatever you want. Okay. Now, once you pick your theme, you can go back to the Edit Questions tab there, and you can go ahead and give your survey a title. Okay, so in my case, now I'm not doing a tech question because I don't want to steal somebody else's tech question. So my question is going to be about, I guess I'll go back to that here real quick and show you my example. My question is, what do you think is the best time frame to have school every day? All right, that's going to be my question that I come up with here. So my title, I think I'll just make for right now, for lack of a better way of putting it, School Start Time Survey. Okay, now you don't be as clever as you want with that, but I'm just going to title mine that way. All right. And then I'm just going to go down here and start putting in my questions. Now, it's really important to think about how to set up your questions. Remember, we have to gather information about gender and about what grade they're in. So my first question will be, what gender are you? Now, some people might not be familiar with the term gender, okay? So that's okay, though, because I think they'll be able to figure out from the answers below what that question means. But if you want to give them a little bit of a help here, okay, you can put the question a different way. Are you a boy or a girl? Okay, put that down below it. And then for option 1, you're going to put girl. And then you can go down here and add another option, and you can put in boy. Okay. And then once you have your question set, it's a multiple choice question. Now, there's different ways you can phrase your question, but today we're pretty much going to be using multiple choice. Click on that, and then just click done. Okay. And there's your first question. All right. Now, obviously we need to add more. Okay, so we're going to add item here. Let's go to another question. All right. Remember, we need to add, or we need to find out what grade they're in. So you're going to type in what grade are you in? All right. And I don't think I need to put any help text with that one, but I'm just going to type in here 6th, and then go down here and add a second one, 7th, and then finally 8th. Okay. Like so. You can click done, so I'm done with that question. Now, if you ever need to go back and change something, maybe you had a spelling error, you want to change something, you just go over here and you simply click on the edit button here. Or if you don't like your question, you want to start over, just hit the trash button. They'll delete it, okay? If you want to duplicate the question for some reason, you can also do that, all right? So finally now we're ready to add our final item, okay? And this is where we get our question. So I'm going to go back and take a look at mine to make sure I get the right question. What do you think is the best time frame to have school every day? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to copy that. And then just paste it in here so I know that I've gotten it exactly right, okay? And then I'm going to start putting my options. Again, I can just copy and paste, and I want to make sure I have them all in here, okay? And kind of go back and forth real quick here. And if you want, this might be a good time for you to be doing this as well. All right. Sorry for the delay here. Just want to kind of walk you through this. Now I've come up with 4 different possible answers here. You may not have 4. Okay, that's okay. All right. So I have my possible answers there, and I'm done. Okay. So all of my my questions are in here. Now there's a couple customizable things you can do. You might want to at the bottom here where it says the confirmation page, what's going to happen is when they send the form, when they submit their form, okay, you can give a little thank you down here at the bottom. It's going to say you're responsible recording. Thanks for taking my survey. Okay, like so. Okay. Now there's some options here. You can turn on and off. I don't want them to really submit another response. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because I want it from different people. But you can turn these on and off. Okay. If you want people to see the results of your survey, you can simply do that. You don't need to turn really any of these on if you don't want to. At the top here, guys, a couple things you want to turn in, or I'm sorry, that you want to probably turn on is, first of all, you want to make sure you require Kennewick Hills Public Schools login to view the form. So that way we only get students from Kennewick Hills, not people from the outside. Automatically collect respondents, Kennewick Hills Public Schools username. That's probably a good thing to turn on, just so you kind of know who responded. You don't have to turn that on, I guess. It's up to you. A show progress bar at the bottom of the page, you can turn that on if you want to. It just kind of lets them know how many more questions they have to respond to. Allow only one response per person, requires login. If you want to turn that on, that might be a good one to turn on. And then shuffle the question order. You don't want to do that, really. You want everything to be the same no matter who sees it, okay? So you are all set to go, all right, with your survey at this time. So you can just go up here at the top. Notice there's some different items here. You can view live form. So if you click on that, it's going to take you and show you what your form now looks like, okay? So this is what your survey looks like, all right? And when they're done, you just have to hit submit. Or when they're done, they would hit submit, and their questionnaire is done, okay? Now, when you're ready to go back, you can click edit this form. It's also open over here, so you can just close it, okay? And you are good to go, okay? So that's all there is to it. Now, to send this to people, you can go up here to where it says send form, and you can start typing in people via their email. If you have a website, you could embed this code into your website, or copy. This is the actually link to your survey, so you could simply just copy this. All right, using a command copy. All right, or you could you can make a shorter URL if you want to, and that's a little bit easier to remember. So you could send this link to people. Like I said, or you can just share it via your email list of people that you already know, okay? So, again, you can come up with 30 different people to send it to. So that's how you can share it. You can either share the link in an email, okay, or you can send it directly to people through their email abilities here. And it's nice here, for example, if you start typing student numbers, all right, it kind of comes up with the names of people that are already in your contact list, or you can start typing their names. So, for example, if I start typing, if I'm looking for a student named Jordan, for example, would put up all the Jordans that I know that are in my contact list. So pretty easy to do it that way. You can really get it out to 30 people in no time. So anyway, that's how you share it. Or send the form to people. Like I said, you can also publish it someplace. You could even probably put it in Edmodo, although the problem is with Edmodo is that it's only linked to the people that have Edmodo accounts. That may not be everybody. So lots of different ways you could share it with people. But again, a very useful form for you to use to get that survey out to people. Again, Google Forms, a great way to share your ideas or share questions rather, and have people answer them, and a great way to conduct your survey project.